Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, it is KingNido here and we're coming to you today from Spikemas City where the Dark type Suede Grunts are hosting the Grass type Striaton Greens, and the Suede Grunts are trying to get themselves back into an Elite Four position after losing their last two games, whereas the Striaton Greens are just trying to get themselves away from the Twisted Spoon position at the bottom of the leaderboard. So let us know in the comments below who you think will win this one. Will it be the Dark types or will it be the Grass types? But that is right, the Striaton Greens are currently sitting in 18th place. They are second last at the moment as they start out with Toadscruel and Electrode. It will be Skuntank and Mabosstiff starting out for the Spikemas Suede Grunts, and immediately the quickest Pokemon in the PokeType League, Electrode, goes with the Brave Bird onto Skuntank, gets a great hit, but Skuntank is revealed immediately to be a Zoroark in its illusion form as Electrode gets a little bit of recoil damage from that Brave Bird, and Zoroark is going to respond with the disarming voice, but Electrode has that soundproof ability, so it is immune to it, but Toadscruel will take a little bit of damage, and Mabosstiff with the Rapid Spin also going for Toadscruel, gets a really good hit there, and Mabosstiff will get a speed boost as well as Toadscruel is going to respond with the Psyshock, but the Dark types are immune to Psychic type attacks, so Electrode looking to make up for it, going with the Echoed Voice, continuing to go for Zoroark as Mabosstiff responds by setting up for a Sky attack, so it is going to become cloaked in that harsh light as those wings take up high into the sky. Zoroark following it up with the Trick Room, so it's going to reverse the speed order of this match, which is going to make Electrode the slowest Pokemon on the field, but this could benefit them still as Toadscruel going with the Lick, which is not very effective, but Zoroark is actually able to respond with the Toxic, so Electrode is going to become badly poisoned. This poisoning will get worse with every turn, and Mabosstiff follows it up with the Sky attack. Electrode is able to hold on though, and Electrode has flinched, so it's unable to move as Toadscruel going with the close combat. This is super effective on Zoroark. Zoroark is eliminated. Toadscruel does lower its defense and special defense to get this elimination, so Zoroark is taken out of the match, but Electrode is going to feel this poisoning for the first and only time in this match because Electrode is eliminated. So immediately the playing field is back to being level as out comes the real Skuntank onto the field, and Scovillain will be coming out for the Striaton Greens, and immediately we'll get the Brick Break from Scovillain on a Skuntank. Would have been super effective, but it is a part poison type Skuntank who responds with the Splash. Nothing happens, and Mabosstiff follows it up with the Power Gem going for Scovillain. Super effective due to that part fire typing, and Toadscruel going with the Rock Smash onto Skuntank. Very little damage being done there, but Skuntank does have its defenses lowered. And the Thunder is attempted to be brought down by Scovillain, but Mabosstiff is able to get out of the way of the attack, and we get the Cross Chop onto Scovillain from Skuntank, getting the elimination. The Spikemas Suede Grunts have just taken the lead, and Mabosstiff looking to follow it up, going with the Infestation. Super effective on Toadscruel, and it will be afflicted with this Infestation, so it will take continuous damage, but first it goes with the Shelter. So instead of going on the offensive, Toadscruel is going to give itself a really big defense boost here, but there is that Infestation taking effect. It is terrifying to hear take place as out comes Brute Bonnet for the Striaton Greens, who's also a part Dark type, going with the Plain Ice, telling Mabosstiff to be a good boy, and in doing so it is going to lower the attack stat of that dark looking pupper. And now we get the Dragon Tail from Skuntank onto Brute Bonnet. Okay hit, but it will send Brute Bonnet back to the bench. It's still in this matchup, but out in its place comes Florges, being dragged out onto the field, and at the moment it is a Fairy type, and it will be on the receiving end of the Hex from Mabosstiff there, and Toadscruel is going to respond for its side by throwing out the Sticky Web onto the side of the Spikemas Suede Grunts. So any Pokemon now that lands in that will have their speed stat lowered as that Infestation continues on Toadscruel, and the Twisted Dimensions have returned to normal as Florges is going to Terastallize into a Grass type Pokemon. That is why it was able to come out onto the field, because it's the Terrestrial Pokemon for the Striaton Greens taking on that Grass typing. Don't be confused, it is not regularly a Grass type Pokemon, as Mabosstiff setting up the Reflect on the side of the Suede Grunts, making them stronger against physical type moves, and Skuntank follows it up with the Psyblade onto Toadscruel, and Toadscruel is eliminated from this matchup. The Spikemas Suede Grunts are building massive momentum as Florges responds with the Bitter Blade onto Mabosstiff. Mabosstiff finally taking its first damage of the matchup. Didn't even realize it'd been able to avoid so many attacks, having its energy drained, and now back out onto the field comes Brute Bonnet as Mabosstiff going with the Vacuum Wave immediately for Brute Bonnet. Super effective, but Brute Bonnet's able to tank that hit, and Skuntank follows it up with the Water Spout. This will hit both Grass-type Pokemon for not very effective damage. And now we have Florges going with the Sludge Bomb onto Mabosstiff. Fantastic hit, and Brute Bonnet follows it up with the Wrap onto Skuntank. A little bit of chip damage, but it will do continuous passive damage to the Poison Dark type, as we see taking effect now to Skuntank from that Wrap, and Mabosstiff responding with the Metal Sound. But that Flower Veil of Florges makes it unable to immune to that, sorry, as we get the final Gambit onto Brute Bonnet, which will not do enough damage. Skuntank has taken itself out of the matchup in trying to do so, and Florges going with the Focus Energy. It is getting pumped here on the field. See if it can capitalize on that as the match continues, and Brute Bonnet first with the Seed Flare, and Mabosstiff is eliminated just like that. The Striking Greens have leveled the playing field. It is now a 3 versus 3 matchup, as out comes Samurott in its Hisuian form, and it will be joined by Kingambit. Samurott and Kingambit will both be caught in that sticky web, so they are going to have their speed lowered. Not that I expected Kingambit to be moving too quickly around on this field as it sits on its hair there, but it does have that pressure ability, and it will exert that over the Striking Greens, as Florges with the Cross Poison immediately going for the Hisuian. Samurott gets the critical hit after having been pumped up, and Samurott is left poisoned as well, so it will take continuous damage as Brute Bonnet follows it up with the Swagger, showing that Swagger all over Samurott, who gets a massive attack boost, but it will be left confused here, and it does have that 108 based attack as well. It needs to shake this off because it can do some big damage to itself if it's not careful. As we see taking place now, Samurott does hit itself in its confusion. That is always terrible to see, as Kingambit with the Coil, it's going to boost its physical stats here, but in doing so as well, it will also boost its accuracy. See if it can capitalize, because it has that 135 base attack. It's also got the 120 base defense as well, as Samurott is feeling the effects of its poisoning here. And the Striking Greens building all this momentum as the Fairy Lock from Florges, making it so no one can run away during the next turn. Not that anyone does run away during these matches, and I hope you're not either. Brute Bonnet going with the Sweet Scent on the field here, lowering that evasiveness of the Dark-type Pokemon, making it easier targets for the Striking Greens, as Samurott still in a confused state. It really needs to shake this off, and that it does, as it goes with the Whirlpool onto Florges. Not very effective. It did get the stab boost in that move though, and Florges does become trapped in that vortex, so it will take continuous damage. Kingambit though with the Icicle Crash. This will be super effective, and Florges is eliminated from this matchup. The Spikeman Sway Grunts have cut into that momentum of the Striking Greens, getting the elimination and taking back the lead. And Samurott's still feeling the effects of the poison. It is an easy target right now, as the Reflect has worn off for the Suede Grunts, and out comes Rillaboom as the last Pokemon for the Striking Greens, immediately going with the Hone Claws. So it is going to give itself an attack boost here. It does have that 125 base attack, and it boosts its accuracy in the process as Brute Bonnet with the quick attack onto Kingambit. Not very effective, very little damage being done there, as Samurott really needs to shake off this confusion, or it will eliminate itself. It does shake it off though, going with the Acupressure, and it's actually going to help out Kingambit, giving it a speed boost here. I don't know if it will help out Kingambit enough though. It is very slow, but it goes with the Tail Slap onto Rillaboom. This multi-hit move, it's got two, it's got three, gets 3 Tail Slaps in there, as Samurott is going to feel that poisoning, but it's able to hold on by a thread. It will only last one more turn though, but first Rillaboom with the Zap Cannon, making it sure that Samurott won't even get off a move because it has been eliminated. It is now 2v2 as Kingambit responds with the Flamethrower onto Brute Bonnet. Perfect response, super effective elimination immediately. Spikeman Sway Grunts have taken back the lead, and out comes Bombardier for the Spikeman Sway Grunts. Rillaboom with the speed advantage, going with the Grass Pledge onto Kingambit. Not very effective. Kingambit tanks that move, and it responds with the Memento. It has just taken itself out of this matchup. It is down to Bombardier versus Rillaboom. Rillaboom has got its attack and special attack greatly lowered by Kingambit in doing that Memento though. Spikeman Sway Grunts could lose this, but first we get the Muddy Water from Bombardier onto Rillaboom. Not very effective. Rillaboom having much less health than Bombardier though, going with the Ember. Bombardier is able to tank that hit, and it does respond with the Poltergeist, which means it is going to go for Rillaboom and attack it with that Leopard Berry here. So Rillaboom being attacked by the Leopard Berry is eliminated. The Spikeman Swade Grunts have gotten the victory here today. They've ended that 2-game losing streak. The could have potentially been a terrible way to be ending their season, but instead the Spikeman Sway Grunts do move up in the 6th place, and next round they will be taking on the Heart Home Spectres. That should be a very spooky game. Whereas for the Striaton Greens next round, they will be having a bye, but after that they will be facing the Fuchsia Royal Gators. But until then, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on the field, and if you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, share, subscribe, and more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I will see you when you see me.